They say there are doors that should never be opened, and the old key found in that abandoned house is one of them. They call it the Cursed Key. In a bustling college town, a young student named Ethan browsed through a crowded flea market on a crisp autumn day. Amidst the clutter of antiques and oddities, a tarnished iron key caught his eye. Its intricate design seemed to whisper secrets from a forgotten era. As Ethan reached for it, the elderly seller's wrinkled hand shot out, gripping his wrist with surprising strength. "Never try to open any door with it," the old man warned, his eyes wide with fear. But Ethan, driven by curiosity and a thirst for adventure, brushed off the ominous warning. He purchased the key, slipping it into his pocket with a mixture of excitement and unease. That night, as Ethan settled into his dorm room, the key began to pulse with an eerie energy. A faint, otherworldly glow emanated from its surface, casting dancing shadows on the walls. The metal rattled against his desk drawer, as if desperately seeking a lock to open. Ethan's heart raced, torn between fascination and growing dread. Sleep finally claimed him, but it brought no peace. In his dreams, Ethan found himself standing before a massive black door. Its surface was covered in strange, twisting carvings that seemed to writhe and shift before his eyes. From behind the imposing barrier, whispers carried on a cold wind. They called his name, beckoning him closer with promises of forbidden knowledge and untold power. Ethan awoke in a cold sweat, the key clutched tightly in his trembling hand. He knew he should heed the seller's warning, but the pull of the unknown was too strong to resist. Over the next few days, the key's influence grew. It seemed to guide Ethan's footsteps, leading him to forgotten corners of the campus. One moonless night, Ethan found himself descending into the school's labyrinthine basement. Ancient pipes creaked and groaned around him as he ventured deeper than any student was meant to go. At last, he came face to face with an old, weathered door. It looked out of place, as if it had been transplanted from another time and world. With shaking hands, Ethan inserted the key into the lock. It slid in perfectly, as if it had been crafted for this very moment. He hesitated, his fingers poised to turn it. The warnings echoed in his mind, but curiosity went out. With a deep breath, Ethan twisted the key. The lock clicked open with a sound that reverberated through his very soul. Slowly, agonizingly, the door swung inward. Beyond it lay a long, cold hallway that defied all logic. It stretched far beyond the confines of the building, disappearing into impenetrable darkness. Ethan knew with certainty that this place didn't exist on any campus map. As the door fully opened, darkness poured out like a living thing. It swallowed the dim basement lights, plunging Ethan into a void that seemed to hunger for his very essence. From the depths of the hallway, shapes began to emerge. Gaunt, faceless figures glided towards him, their movements unnatural and jerky. Each held an identical cursed key in their skeletal hands, the metal gleaming with the same unearthly light as Ethan's own. Terror gripped Ethan's heart. He turned to flee, but the basement door had vanished. The only way out was through the nightmare before him. With no other choice, he plunged into the impossible hallway. His footsteps echoed eerily as he ran, the sound bouncing off walls that seemed to shift and breathe. Behind him, more doors began to appear along the endless corridor. They swung open of their own accord, unleashing a cacophony of screams that chilled Ethan to his core. Shadows poured from each doorway, joining the pursuit. They clawed at his heels, their touch like ice against his skin. Ethan ran until his lungs burned and his legs threatened to give out. Just when he thought he could go no further, he stumbled through another door and found himself in what appeared to be his own dorm room. Relief washed over him for a brief moment before horror set in once more. There on the bed lay another Ethan. This doppelgänger was fast asleep, clutching the cursed key tightly to its chest. As Ethan watched, frozen in disbelief, his twin's eyes slowly opened. Where there should have been familiar brown irises, there were only hollow voids, endless and hungry. Ethan tried to scream, but no sound escaped his lips. He felt himself being pulled towards the other Ethan, as if reality itself was collapsing. The last thing he saw before darkness claimed him was his own face, twisted into an inhuman grin. In the days that followed, Ethan's disappearance caused a stir on campus. Search parties combed the grounds, but no trace of him was ever found. His room remained untouched, the cursed key nowhere to be seen. Since then, students whisper tales of strange occurrences in the dead of night. They say that when you hear the sound of a key turning in a lock at midnight, it means another door has been opened. And not everyone who enters ever comes back. Some claim to have seen a figure resembling Ethan wandering the halls after hours, always vanishing around corners or through doors that shouldn't exist. Others report hearing whispers calling their names, tempting them to explore forgotten areas of the campus. The legend of the cursed key grew, passed down from one class to the next. It became a rite of passage for new students to dare each other to venture into the basement at night, hoping to catch a glimpse of the otherworldly hallway. Most returned with nothing but goosebumps and overactive imaginations. But every now and then, a student would go missing, their disappearance as mysterious as Ethan's. University officials dismissed the stories as urban legends, but they couldn't explain the cold spots that appeared in certain buildings or the occasional glimpse of impossible geometries and shadowy corners. Security cameras would inexplicably malfunction in areas where students reported strange sightings. As years passed, the tale of the cursed key evolved. Some versions claim that the key was part of a set scattered across the world by an ancient society. Others insisted that it was a gateway to alternate realities, allowing otherworldly beings to cross into our world. Whatever the truth, one thing remained constant: the warning to never open doors that were meant to stay closed. For in the spaces between worlds, there are things that hunger for human essence, waiting for unwary souls to unlock the barriers that keep them at bay. So the next time you come across an old, mysterious key, remember Ethan's fate. Ask yourself, is your curiosity worth the risk? For once some doors are opened, they can never truly be closed again. Would you dare to hold this key and try it on any door? Comment below. I would open it if you're brave enough. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying legends you can't escape. But remember, in the world of the cursed key, some choices have consequences that echo through eternity. Choose wisely, for the next door you open might be your last.